Hey everyone, Dan here. We are during market hours on Tuesday, June 1st. Today I want to take a look at a couple of plays that I see potentially forming in Virgin Galactic, aka SPCE space. Before we get into it, if you enjoy these videos, please hit the like and subscribe button. It helps a lot. And let's jump right in. So space has had, a pretty decent run up lately, and so I wanted to show first the macro chart just to get a sense of where we are overall, and talk about maybe sort of like a longer term play that I see here, a swing trade type position, or even like a longer term investment, and then we'll flip over to the micro chart and look at like the last 5 days and see what shorter term plays might be presenting themselves. But these to me are the most important levels at the moment, this 27.55 and 23.73. What I'm looking for is the price to come back to test that level since it's made this big run up. I think that this was the news on the successful launch that they had, and so I'm looking for some of that hype to cool off. It has come down a little bit, but I mean not a ton. About 10% or so, maybe a little bit less. It nearly got down there today, that 27.55 level, and then it's been sort of pushing back up as the day has gone on. But to sort of like walk you through my thinking here, so big run up. The reactions in the market are overreactions, so then we're going to look for sort of a pullback, and that would put us somewhere in this mid 27 range, because previous resistance here, previous resistance here, previous support here. So that says to me this is a very strong level, support here, and it gives it a really good bounce opportunity if this is going to continue up much, much higher. To that end, I could see it coming down a little bit further, though I don't love the play as much if it gets closer to this 23.73 level, because that is quite a significant percentage down. But also, I think that I would actually prefer it to get caught around this level here. If it does fall further, I might actually put that in and kind of like amend this trade. This is a pretty aggressive move, as I had originally planned it out here, with this dip buying all the way down to 23.73. But another way that I may play it is if I do an options play, which I like to keep a little tighter, I may look at entering the option around 27.55, averaging down into the mid 26s. But if it can't hold this level here, this 24.81, then I may look at sort of like a cut loss there for the options play. I would actually give it I'll give it a little breathing room using the ATR. So that would be sort of like my options play. My other opportunity would be for shares. Then I'd probably let it run down to this 23.73 if I wanted. And then the other thing that I was thinking on this one is there is this enormous gap here. So the way that I was trying to respect these levels was putting my stop loss just at the bottom of that gap. In case it was coming down to fill it, then I would give it enough room to run down there and then bounce, because the gap would have been filled. So, but I do think that there's potential for more pullback to come here, and I actually think that could start to develop a healthier uptrend rather than this like enormous run up and then just kind of expecting that to continue on forever. So I do think there will be a breath that continues to be taken here. If we look at the MAs, things are crossing over recently toward the bullish side, so that would sort of like work against any incoming dip. The RSI is relatively high, so that could still assist us in some selling pressure, and the MACD very high right now, relatively speaking, and a bearish crossover at the moment, so that may see dragging the price down a little bit more into this buy zone. So thought that I had it planned out, but now that I'm looking at it, I may start with a more mixed. I wouldn't really say it's a more conservative approach, but because options themselves are just riskier. But I could see a tighter play here for the options bounce, and see if it can respect these levels, and then leave myself this 23.73 bottom of the buy zone in case I do go in shares instead of options. And then my cut loss will be there, like 1 ATR below 21.41. If we want to look at sort of a shorter term chart for day trades or potential quick swing trades, then it's sort of forming this. Let me pull this up here. This is like the potential bottom of sort of a channel like this could be potentially forming. I don't think that it's going to stretch all the way up here. I think another way to look at it, is that we have this sort of thing happening. If it respects this, which that was during overnight hours or early morning hours, so that may not provide a lot of meaning in the overall play, but I could see this bottom trend line here holding, and this coming in to sort of form this flagging pattern, and if it can hold that bottom, it may bounce up out of there anyway. So that'll be sort of telling as the day goes on. Otherwise, we are relatively close, even on the short-term chart, to this 27.55 and 26.51 area, with potential stop loss there at 24.62. If it was on the shorter-term chart, I could see a potential stop loss going in here, depending on how much you wanted to let the trade breathe, in like the mid-25 range, as opposed to letting it go down into the mid-24 range. On the RSI, we are again relatively high, so we may see this down trend line hold as it sort of pushes it down toward the bottom bound of this channel, or this like upward trending line, if you want to think of it that way. And on the MACD, we do see a nice push up here, bullish cross from way down low on the MACD, so way below the baseline. So that does provide a bunch of run room for it to work itself up, but we'll have to see how that interplays with this downtrend line. Because the bearish momentum also picked up here pretty significantly and dipped down way lower than this previous area, and so that bearish momentum hasn't shown any sign of dying down yet from bearish dip to bearish dip. So I'd like to see sort of like another pushback and see where that brings us. Does it continue to dip further? Does it hold up sort of higher toward the baseline than this most recent dip? And that might signal that there's more bullish potential coming in. All right, well, that's what I see for a potential Virgin Galactic play. This, for a long time, was one of my favorites to play on the options chain, but sort of not been paying as much attention to it recently. So I wanted to check back in, sort of see, what it might be looking like. But I'm going to reset myself here and structure myself on this chart and see how it plays out. See if I get this dip buying opportunity or not. All right, well, good luck with your trades this week. I hope that the week is off to a good start, and I will see you in the next video.